Hey everybody, it is Friday, and that means it's time for another full run video. So this one may actually be one of the longest ones that I've done today, because there's a lot of books that I gotta cover, that I want to cover here. What I'm going to be doing this week is it's going to be the Silver Surfer, all the Silver Surfer books that I have, and I don't have all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but all the ones that I do have, I'm going to be covering. Silver Surfer was, I started collecting in 1990. Shortly after I started collecting, they were doing the run up to the Infinity Gauntlet. And that was going to be, like, when the Ghost Rider started, he was popular, and back in those days when Marvel had a character that was really popular, that character would show up in every other book. So I was able to get some Punisher and some Spider-Man and all these other characters. When the Infinity Gauntlet came out, I had no idea what a crossover event was. I had no idea what any of this stuff was. And I did know, however, I did learn that this Infinity Gauntlet story was going to have pretty much all of the Marvel characters in it. So I was going to use that as my sort of gateway into the broader Marvel universe, because up until that point, it was just basically Ghost Rider was what I was reading from Marvel. So I figured I could use that to introduce myself to, a better introduction to, like, Spider-Man, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, all these other characters. The main one that crossed over was the Silver Surfer. So I figured since the Silver Surfer was the main one, that would also give me more of a backstory, more idea what the heck was going on with this Infinity Gauntlet thing. So I started reading the Silver Surfer. I remember the first one I bought was, and when we get to it in the collection, it was right before the Infinity Gauntlet. It was issue 48, I believe. And I bought that off the rack at a Kroger, which we had two Kroger stores in my hometown. We had one on the east end and one on the west end. My first issue of Silver Surfer I actually bought off the rack on the east side Kroger here in my hometown. So it's kind of spawned from there. My original intent was only to be reading the Silver Surfer through the Infinity Gauntlet, and then I was going to drop it. But then it was one of those things where, okay, so I know what he's like with the Infinity Gauntlet. He's a kind of a cool character, so let's see what he's like without it. So, I figured I tried a few issues, after the Infinity Gauntlet, and then, the Infinity War was coming, and I knew he was going to be a big crossover with that. So, I might as well go through Infinity War. Then at that point, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to be a Silver Surfer fan because he's a cool character, which meant I wanted to go back and try to buy all the previous issues of the Silver Surfer, which was fun. I remember finally being able to finish that series. I got down to the last issue, and Silver Surfer was one of the first books that I was able to get all the back issues to. I was able to get all the back issues to that before I got all the back issues of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. And I remember that last issue that I needed, my LCS, Nostalgia Inc., had it. Always had it. And it got to the point where that was the last issue I needed. I needed that to finish the run. But part of me didn't want to buy it right away, because then if I did that, the hunt was over. The series was complete. What do I do? But eventually I did that, and I was able to enjoy that accomplishment of a collection complete. And the Silver Surfer was the first series where I started partway through and went back and was able to get all the previous issues. So that said, enough of me babbling about my history with the Silver Surfer. Let me turn this camera around here and let's show off my Silver Surfer collection. Okay, so this is a long box of my collection drawer set up here. Most of this is Silver Surfer, so let's just get started with this one here. It's a reprint of Silver Surfer number 14. It's a meeting of the Silver Surfer and Spider-Man. I believe it was their first meeting. I love these facsimile editions. I think they're awesome, and I really wish Marvel would do more of them. It's a good way to be able to experience these books without having to shell out all the cash to get the originals. But I've got that. And then from the original Silver Surfer run, issue 16, it's a fight between Mephisto and the Silver Surfer. I've got issue 18. These aren't in the best of conditions, but I think this was a $5 copy. I'm like, whatever. I don't have it, and I'd like to have some original Silver Surfer in my collection. So moving on, we've got this one shot here. This goes between the original Silver Surfer run and the 90s run. I also love that cover. Then there was the flashback issue, which set up a story later in the Surfer run, but these flashbacks always took place before the regular books, the current runs, or whatever you want to call it. This is a -1 issue. Then I've got the half issue, which was from Wizard Magazine. And finally, we start the series proper, Silver Surfer. I think this is considered Volume 3, Number 1, Direct Edition. Number 2, I don't know what this is. The 1987 Year of the Reader. I really wonder what that's about. These early issues, I mean, they're in pretty good condition, all things considered. I was getting these when I really didn't care too much about the condition of my books. I still try to keep them in good condition if I could get them that way. But, I would just read them, bag them, and board them. Now I've got this entire run in the Essentials. I think it's like 4 volumes or something like that. But I've got, the entire I've got the Silver Surfer Essentials, so I get to read the early stuff whenever I want. This was one of my favorite covers from the early run. Issue 8. Nice monster cover there. Surfer riding on a silver bird. Issue 9. I remember this is one of the issues I really wanted to get because I got into the cosmic stuff after Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War and all this. I really got into the cosmic stuff. So when I came to hunting down the back issues of Silver Surfer, I always focused on the ones that had the cosmics in it more than anything else. Like Eternity here, the cosmics are just a neat idea, a neat concept. I always enjoy them. Another one of my favorite Nova covers, at issue 12. Issue 13, nice Ronin. And it's nice to look at these older books, before the movies happened, and in my humble opinion, kind of ruined everything for the comics. Now the comics don't look like comic books anymore. They got to try to make them as realistic as possible, and that's not what comic books should be for. I mean, it's supposed to be escapist entertainment, in my opinion, anyway. But this one here is the first. I believe it's the first. Yep. Ron Lim, one of the premier Silver Surfer artists, and also early Infinity Gems. They refer to all of them as Soul Gems at this point because they didn't really make they didn't distinguish that each one had its own properties, so they were all considered Soul Gems. Like that one, In-Betweener and Elders, Chaos and Order. It's awesome stuff. Galactus versus the In-Betweener, enough said. Awesome. Firelord. Actually, there's going to be one issue that is not in here. I like that UPC, by the way. I always like that UPC. There's going to be one issue that is going to be missing. It's going to be later in the run, and it's because I got it double signed, and I'm going to be sending it into CBCS to get graded at some point. So that is currently with my friend Cody Lockwood of Lockwood's Loot fame. And as soon as I have the money to do it, I'm going to be sending that in to get graded because it's an awesome cover. It's a Mephisto cover. Beautiful stuff. Issue 24 and 25, back when they would do, see it says Giant Size Spectacular, issue 25. Back in these days, they would do not gimmick covers or variant covers for everything, but they would do special, double-sized issues, and they would always start something major. There's the Kree getting involved with the Silver Surfer, the Stranger, and the Super Skrull. Gotta love that. Issue 28. I think that's Reptile. I never understood Midnight Sun. Never understood that character at all. He just didn't make any sense to me. So, had discs on his hands. Kind of weird. It's another one I really liked because I had the Living Tribunal, issue 31. This is a giant-sized issue. The conclusion to the Kree-Skrull War. Good stuff. Enemies Within. It's a nice cover there. Ron Friends. I think that was it. Why have I got 2 copies of this? Okay, so this is the first print. And then this would be a second print. So you see the first print has issue 32, mid-December, and it has all that nonsense down there. This one does not have that down there for some reason. So I think this is going to be a second print. I think I got a couple of those in here. Impossible Man. Actually, this is the other one I know I have. This is really leading into the Infinity Gauntlet Thanos quest, actually. Impossible Man realizes that stuff is going on and tries to get the Surfer to loosen up so that he could face what he needs to face without losing his mind. But this is the first print, and this is the second print. Again, the same thing. There's that information down there missing. Second print. And then the iconic issue, number 34, The Return of Thanos. This is something else that I liked back in these days as well. When they would bring in new creative teams or go on a new, launch a major new storyline, instead of doing a fake final issue and restarting with yet another first issue, like Venom's getting another first issue, and I think Black Panther's getting another first issue, they would just put this on the cover. First issue in a new era of greatness. But the numbering would continue because it was less confusing back then. All right, moving on. I like this one here because I'm a huge fan of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So having Thanos' Guide to the Galaxy really put a smile on my face when I saw that. Issue 36. Oh, No, Not You. That's, of course, Drax the Destroyer. We got Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel. Within the Soul Gem. There's an early incarnation of Drax. That was back in his idiot phase. Another one of my favorite Thanos covers. Get a closer look at that. That is Thanos to me. That's what Thanos should look like. That's how I see him. Filler issue, I guess. Getting ready for the... is at this point, I believe Thanos was doing his Thanos quest. He was off in search for the Infinity Gems. And then he would eventually return to the Silver Surfer and really kind of kick things off for the Infinity Gauntlet. Of course, it was Thanos who named them Infinity Gems because after he had collected them all, he'd realized only one of them had control over the soul. The rest had control over, power, mind, reality, space, and all that sort of stuff. So, and since they had infinite power, he figured that the a more appropriate name would be Infinity Gems. This is the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet. My copy could probably use a pressing. I think being in this box has sort of flattened it out a little bit more. There's some color breaks on the spine. It's kind of sad. But I think I might send it in to get it pressed just to make it look a little bit better. This is one of my all-time favorite Silver Surfer covers right there. Nice Thanos, Mephisto, the boys are back. Adam Warlock, an awesome Adam Warlock cover. I got a bunch of his books too. They are leaving the busting out of the Soul Gem. This was the first issue of the Silver Surfer I ever bought. And I just could not get over this cover either. It's Galactus's hand holding a broken Silver Surfer. Yeah, it's just awesome. Then issue 49. Issue 50. First print. Nice silver foil embossed cover. Gotta love that. So that's the first print. This will be the second print. Even says so right down there. Kind of just put some markings on the Surfer. Flattened it out. It's not as embossed. And third print. Change the color of Thanos in the background. He fights the Stone Golem Thanos in this one. Love that. And it even says third printing on there. It'd be nice if they did that again. Put third printing right on the cover. And now we're in the Infinity Gauntlet proper. Issue 51. Issue 52. 53. There's a nice Rhino. And you got Earth's Mightiest Heroes down there on the bottom. Nice. Another nice Thanos cover. Everybody's wiped out. This was actually a dream sequence that the Silver Surfer had, where he had been beaten and everybody was beaten. It's a great story. It was just a really, really well done story. Infinity Gauntlet is, move this forward a little bit here. Infinity Gauntlet is a story that I do read every year. And I have, thanks to the Marvelous box, I have the Epic collection of Silver Surfer. I believe I've got that, yeah. And so I get to read the I get to read the Silver Surfers crossovers now. And of course, the Infinity Gauntlet crossed over through every title. Whether the writers wanted it to or not, it crossed through everything. But it was back when Marvel would do something like that, and they didn't add a lot of peripheral stuff to it. They didn't add, multiple one-shots and miniseries that weren't originally announced. I always like that cover, too. Now we're into the Infinity War. Good stuff. The Herald Ordeal, a great story. If you want to read a really good Silver Surfer storyline, the Herald Ordeal is definitely one to check out. That's introduction of Morg, and we get the demise of one of the Heralds. It all leads up to issue 75, where we get another pretty cool gimmick cover. I believe it's another foil embossed. This one, it's a rainbow foil embossed cover. Yeah. You get that rainbow effect on the Silver Surfer there. That's pretty sweet. It's Ron Lim cover. I think he's going to be leaving the book soon here. Jack of Hearts, cool character. There's Nebula. Granddaughter or supposed granddaughter of Thanos. I know in the movies they made her Thanos' daughter, but she always claimed in the comics to be his granddaughter, and he never accepted it because she never had any proof that she was his granddaughter. Never once claimed to be his daughter. As you can tell, I really don't like a lot of the changes that the movies made. And there's another cool character, Tyrant. One of the characters that gives Galactus a run for his money. Now we're in the Infinity Crusade. They turn the Silver Surfer into a living bomb. It's all roided out there. That's pretty cool. One of the few... Actually, I think this is the only time the Storm have ever appeared on the cover of a Silver Surfer book. This was a crossover, Blood and Thunder. I think Thor goes mad or something, and it takes the combined might of the Silver Surfer, Adam Warlock, and Thanos to stop him. And it crosses through... what is it? Silver Surfer, Warlock, and Infinity Watch. I think Warlock Chronicles. Maybe Thor. I don't think it crossed over into Thor, though. And then we got some filler issues. Legacy. Kind of a dopey character, but he was pretty cool. I didn't mind him. I didn't mind him at all. All right, now we are nearing the end of Ron Lim's run on this. I think this is his last issue. And what an amazing cover to end on. I love the coloring. Silver Surfer. And, yep. Who is this? I cannot remember the name of the artist, and I can't read the name very well, but this was the first major art change that I believe I went through. This was before they put Popmon on Ghost Rider. Still embarrassed about that. That was just a horrible, horrible decision. There's now we're getting up to issue 100. This is a Mephisto storyline. Mephisto was tempting the Silver Surfer, trying to tempt him with different things. It culminated in issue 100. They had a rainbow foil etched cover. You can see there. Looks really sharp. Issue 100. Giant sized anniversary issue. And Grindberg, I think, takes over here. And this is kind of where the Silver Surfer gets a little weird. I think with issue 111, he goes through this breach or something and ends up on the other side of the universe. And he ends up, I like that with Dr. Doom there. That's actually a pretty good drawing of the Surfer there. He ends up in pieces or something, and people get his parts and get his powers or some nonsense. This is kind of a weird era because they never put the issue numbers up in the corner there. They put the issue numbers down there in the UPC. Direct Edition issue 109. That was annoying. Very annoying. And yeah, so faster than light, he flies into the outer void. And I like how that on the bottom there is issue 111. And they made the boxes, including the UPC box. And look at that, another one. First issue in a bold new era of greatness. It's not a new number one. It's just a continuation with a new creative team and a new story that, oh boy, this was something else. I honestly, I almost dropped this book at this point because this made no sense at all. See, he's all apart and she's holding his butt. That's just, moving on. And see, they all got his powers, and they try to fight the Unimind or Overmind or something like that, and that was just a weird story that we got involved in. So we can move this closer a little bit more. Okay, that might be as close as I can get it. And then he finally he finally pulls himself together with another really cool drawing there, another cool cover there. This is issue 118, 119, 120. Unilord, that's who he's fighting. 21, back through the breach, he comes home. 122, Fall of Zen-La. 123, another new beginning, Return to Earth, and another new logo. He had like 3 logos through this series. 124. 125. This is where he faces off against the Hulk. It's a wraparound cover, but I don't have one of those. I don't have it in those clear cover, those clear backboards. It's 126. 127. 128. I love this cover too. 129, 130, 131. We're getting close to the end of this run of the Silver Surfer. It's 132. You get some really interesting covers here. 133, 134. Those creatures, those aliens down there are kind of weird. This is where that -1 issue set up. We got 134, 135. I think we're coming up on the issue that's missing. That's actually pretty cool. Agatha Harkness, back when she was, old. And yeah, so 136 is the one that is going to be getting graded. And as soon as I get that graded, I'll show it off. So I'm sure I got more Silver Surfer stuff to show off. It's 139. This is where the art got really funky and it was like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I wasn't sure about this. But yeah, I stuck with it because at this point I was in for the long haul, and the completist in me really wanted to have all of these issues for this run. Then they put it on a bi-weekly basis, I think, just to get the issues out and finish the run. It's 145, 146. And this ended this run of the Silver Surfer. There was supposed to be a story following this that focused on Galactus, and when the Silver Surfer series ended, they actually did the I think it was called Galactus: The Hunger or something like that. It was a 6-issue miniseries, and it was originally intended to be part of the next 6 issues of the Silver Surfer, but the Surfer ended, so they made it its own miniseries. So you got some annuals. This is the 98 annual. The 88 annual and the 89 annual, part of Atlantis Attacks, actually begins in this issue. Part 4 of Life Form. This is the 1990 annual. I don't like going by numbers like annual number 1, annual number 2. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Corvette Quest, the 91 annual. Nice cover there. 1992. It's nice to see how things have changed, from year to year. 1993. This one was originally polybagged. This year's the 1993 annuals for Marvel, they all came polybagged, and they sort of tried to introduce the next generation of Marvel heroes and villains. So they would come polybagged, and each one would come with the trading card of the character that was introduced. So this one was Legacy. So Legacy was the character on the card. Most of the characters didn't last. Some of them, Legacy was around for a little while. I don't think really too many of them lasted that long. I like that cover with Morg. That's pretty sweet. And I think we skipped a couple of years because there was a 94. Then they didn't do annuals for a few years. And then they did annuals in 97. And this didn't have a number on it. It just said 97 annual. And then there's the 98 annual with Thor. Then there was this series. First issue of a new Silver Surfer series, and he didn't appear in it at all. I tried this series. It was written by, I think, 2 people that really had no previous work in comic books. They were like screenwriters or something. That is a cool cover. I will say that. That is a pretty cool cover. But this series was just so bad. Did I get through the first storyline? There's issue 6. I think this is where I ended. I bailed on it with this issue. I couldn't do it anymore. And then, was it Greg Pak? Did this mini-series here. This is an amazing mini-series. I loved this mini-series. I love the art. I love the story. I love that it was like a 4-issue mini-series. It was just good all the way around. So another one that I would recommend would be this Greg Pak miniseries. I don't know if they ever put it in the trade. If they did, look for it. But really, there's nothing really key worthy with this miniseries. So I guess it was a 5-issue miniseries. That's weird. Because here it says, this is number 2 of 4. But then the next one is issue 3 of 5. There's that Marvel editorial team right at it again. There's issue 5. That's a good cover. Then the ongoing series that followed that was written by Dan Slott, drawn by Mike Allred. I was still a Dan Slott fan at the time that this came out. But this series was one of the reasons why I am no longer a fan of Dan Slott. The guy kind of really got high on himself, and he let his personal politics get in the way of things. And also, I kind of see what's his face, Donny Cates following the same suit, where he doesn't like it when people disagree with him, and how dare you dislike something that he is doing. I on Twitter before he blocked me, actually the reason why he blocked me, one of the reasons why he blocked me was because I told Dan Slott, like, I don't really care for the way the series is being done. I don't think the board should have a name or a personality. It's just kind of dumb. And this human chick here, she was useless. It kept the Silver Surfer, it held him back. And I really didn't care for it. And he said a few choice things to me on Twitter, and some of his brown coat followers got on me about criticizing him, and then he blocked me. So, and he's had me blocked ever since, which kind of sucks because I was a big fan of. Let me see if I might be able to move this closer. Okay, I was a big fan of Superior Spider-Man. I loved Superior Spider-Man, and his entire Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man run. I really liked it. And to this day, I will say, Superior Spider-Man is one of my favorite Spider-Man runs of all time. It's just unfortunate that Dan Slott, to be honest, he's a dick. I'm not going to say he's kind of a dick. He just flat out is a dick. And he's one of the people I think just does not need to be in comic books, until he changes his attitude. Like his personal politics don't mean a thing in comic books. That aside, the next one up is Silver Surfer Black. I got this. I won this at my LCS, Round Limb variant. I tried to read this series, and I know a lot of people liked it, but my God, that art just killed my eyes. I couldn't do it. Got another Round Limb variant, going back to the 90s. That is Death's Palace from the Silver Surfer run, right before everything hit the fan. Then there's this one, Dangerous Artifacts, Ron Mars and Claudio Castellini. This book here, I have a Silver Surfer standee that's drawn by Claudio Castellini, but this book here, every page is a masterpiece. Every page is just so gorgeously drawn. The story's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ron Mars, awesome writer. Story is great, but the art just, oh my God. If you've not looked at this book, you need to do yourself a favor and get this book. It is gorgeous. There's a double page spread in here of Galactus's world ship, and man, it's just massive. It's just beautiful. I love this book. I absolutely love this book. Here's an ash can. I'm not sure where I got this one from. Might have been from. You know what? I think I got this through previews. They used to, toss these into previews magazines back in the day. Then there's Marvel Remix. I think this is the only remix they ever did. Loftier Than Mortals. This is basically kind of a what if. This goes back to the story where the Doctor Doom steals Surfer's power cosmic. And in this one, he actually gets the power cosmic and, all things break out and, go to hell. An amazing cover there. It was only a 2-issue miniseries. Then there's the Mobius Stan Lee 2-issue miniseries. I think I only got the first issue, but it's okay because they did this. So I got this instead. I don't need the 2 issues. I still have the full story. That's what matters to me. There is also the Silver Surfer Superman crossover leading up to the Marvel versus DC, DC versus Marvel event. There is a reprint here, Silver Surfer versus Dracula. And then there was a miniseries, Silver Surfer Warlock. This is where Mephisto had taken Shalabal's soul, and the Surfer enlists the aid of Adam Warlock and his Infinity Watch to get her soul back. Some great stuff. Mephisto was drawn kind of funkily in here. They gave him a really kind of funky nose. I never understood the nose, but, it is what it is. And finally, we were through this. We're done. That's it. Those are all my Silver Surfer books. Whew. Boy, that was a trip, wasn't it? That's a lot of books. So this is probably going to be the longest, so far, I know it is the longest full run Friday that I've done. So I hope you lasted through the whole thing. If you did, thank you very much for continuing to watch. Even after this is gone, about a half an hour? This is about 10 minutes longer than what I wanted. I'm sorry, I'm actually holding the camera in hand right now, so it's going to be a little shaky cam there. But that's it. I don't want to take any more time. Thanks for watching. Really, the only Silver Surfer books that I didn't show off were some of his appearances and other things. There is a Rune Silver Surfer crossover as well that is in a different box. It's under Rune. Yeah, that's it. It's my Silver Surfer minus the one that I'm getting graded. And again, as soon as I get that, I don't know if I'll toss it in a video here. At the very least, it'll show up on my Instagram. I'll take a picture of that, especially if it gets a good grade. Hopefully it does. But yeah, that's it. That's my Silver Surfer run. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. At the very least, you don't have to do all the commenting and all that sort of thing, but at the very least, I appreciate that. I like getting likes, kind of redundant, but redundancy is redundant. And I will see everybody next Thursday with another weekly review video. Next Friday with another full run Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your new comic books. If you're in one of those areas that does have some nasty weather coming through, take care of yourselves. Remember, as much as we love our comic books, that's secondary. You want to take care of yourself. Make sure you're safe and your family is safe. Then, start trying to get your comic books, because, some of those books are really, really awesome. You want to keep those. But thanks for watching. See everybody next week. Have a great weekend.